night in the small town of Hollow Creek was heavy, like wet concrete. The trailer where 13-year-old Leah lived stood on the outskirts, surrounded by rusted containers, burned-out cars, and soggy clay. Inside, it smelled of sour food, old rubber, and grease baked deep into the walls. A green ceiling lamp flickered, stretching the shadows of hanging blankets and towels into long, swollen shapes. Leah sat on a low stool, rocking the portable crib for hours. Inside it, the boy named Joey cried. He'd been screaming so long that the sound wasn't crying anymore, but a raw, broken rasp. Leah's eyes kept sticking shut. Her neck couldn't hold her head. Her mouth tasted like rust. If she fell asleep, the woman of the house would kill her. That's what they always told her. It wasn't the first night like this, not even the second. Every night she had lived here was the same. Whenever Leah closed her eyes for even a second, they would yank her awake. "Get up, you little brat! The baby's crying!" She woke up from shouting, from hits, from the blaring TV, from the smell of burnt oil, but worst of all, from the constant noise inside the trailer, the TV that was never turned off, the radio hissing in the background, the ungreased doors creaking, the neighbors blasting heavy music until 4 a.m., and Joey, his screams and rasp filling every corner of the place. Some nights, Leah thought the child was talking to her. Those rasps sounded like a code, like encrypted words. When the lamp flickered for the 50th time, Leah felt the world crack. Green light melted across the ceiling, forming a huge glowing eye. The shadows stretched toward her, and something moved inside them. Each time the child jerked from crying, the shadows twitched too. Leah blinked, and suddenly she was somewhere else. A filthy highway, figures collapsing face first into wet snow and mud. Crows perched on their backs, flapping their wings and screaming in sync with Joey. When Leah came closer, she saw they weren't people. They were human-shaped shadows, hollow inside, empty, just like her. The dream shifted into a memory. Leah stood inside the old house where her parents once lived. Her father lay on the floor, clutching his stomach. His teeth chattered so hard she heard a constant buh-buh-buh, like a drumbeat. Her mother ran around the house screaming for help. The doctor arrived late. Too late. By morning, her father was gone. But in the trailer, he appeared again, on the floor, gasping for air. His shadow spread across the linoleum, jerking every time Joey wailed. At one moment, the shadow lifted its head and looked straight at Leah. Act 5. Daytime. Madness in the open. Morning brought no relief. It never did. Outside, the neighbors screamed. The woman of the house threw pots around. The TV blasted news. Doors slammed. Knocking. Noise. Screeching. Crying. Leah did everything they ordered. Cleaned the husband's boots. Lit the stove. Scrubbed the porch steps. Carried firewood. Ran to buy beer. Hauled water. Cooked potatoes. She couldn't stop. But the worst moments were when a task forced her to stand still. Then the hallucinations swelled. Potatoes in her hands ballooned into pale baby faces. A shoe brush turned into a writhing mass of insects. The samovar became a giant metal mouth. The woman shouted, "Wake up! Don't you dare fall asleep!" But Leah was already sleeping with her eyes open. Act 6. Evening. Breaking point. When guests arrived, hell began. Everyone talked loudly. The TV's multicolored light stabbed her eyes. The woman tossed new chores at her every minute. Laughter, noise, slamming doors. Everything sounded like underwater pressure squeezing her skull. Joey cried again, screamed without stopping. The guests' voices blended with the voices of the shadows. Whispers slithered from the corners. He's the reason. He keeps you awake. He chains your hands. He steals your life. And the one that cut the deepest. End him and sleep. When the guests left, the woman muttered over her shoulder, "Rock the baby, he won't stop." And she disappeared, almost running instead of walking. Leah remained alone. The house exhaled. The light bulb flickered as if something cold brushed its surface. The green blot in the air flared brighter, swelling like something alive. The crying sharpened into an almost metallic shriek. Shadows crawled toward the crib, then toward Leah. She reached for the switch. A click, a spark, and the darkness collapsed inward, swallowing the room. Leah froze. Something moved behind her. Not a footstep, not a sound, a presence, tight and cold, like skin shrinking on bone. The green glow above blinked once, and the shadows seemed to smile in unison. The crying stopped. The air grew heavy. The silence became unnatural, absolute. A calm washed over her. Too clean, too perfect, as if someone else's thoughts slid into her mind. She stepped toward the crib, but the shadows tightened around her, forming a circle, testing its chosen prey. "I'm here. It's okay," Leah whispered, unsure to whom. The green eye blinked again, and the whole house leaned forward for a split second, like the moment before impact. Final, the spirits take Leah. The shadows didn't let her breathe. Cold rushed over her so sharply her knees buckled. First, sound vanished, then the sense of her own body. They closed in, not physically, but in a way that drained all warmth, all will, leaving only a hollow shell. She tried to step back, but something in the darkness seized her by the shoulders and pulled her downward. The green glow above opened wider, like a pupil dilating. The room stretched, warped, becoming foreign. The shadows converged, fast, certain, as if someone simply switched her existence off, leaving only a thin trace of cold in the air. Morning came. The woman found Leah sitting by the crib, back straight, head lowered, as if she had fallen asleep where she sat. But the shadow on the wall wasn't hers. It stood beside her, taller, longer, turned toward the woman, even though Leah could no longer turn at all.